the true war, has never been one waged by droids or warships or soldiers. They are but crude matter, obstacles against which we test ourselves. The true war is waged in the hearts of all living things, against our own natures, light or dark. That is what shapes and binds this galaxy, not these creations of man. A culture's teachings, and most importantly the nature of its people, achieve definition in conflict.
We all have our heroes. And when we watch them fall, we die inside.
I can't do it then. I can't kill my own father.
Just help me save Padme's life. I can't live without her.
He is like my brother. I cannot do it.
You can stand to see the Imperial flag reign across the galaxy.
It's not a problem if you don't look up.
I feel it again. The call to the light.
Sense great fear in you, Skywalker. You have hate, you have anger, but you don't use them.
I thought to betray you, Father. I feel the good in you. The conflict.
There is no conflict.
We all wage war with the past, and it leaves its scars.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
In battle, the words are swept away, giving way to actions. Mercy, sacrifice, anger, fear. These are pure moments of expression.
I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you. Your father would have been proud of you, Jin. Never. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
You were right about me. Tell your sister. You were right.
He feels no fear, no pain. The chill of death cannot cool his passion. The hero burns, eternal.
Man, so what is to become of me? God, you shall rise to become an angel in heaven. Man, no thanks. I don't want to be an angel in heaven. Is there something else? God, but why would you refuse such an honor? Man, because I think there is a flaw in their design. God, really, what would that be? Man, I think that they could fall victim to the temptations of sin. I've been hounded by such things all my life. I was hoping that in paradise I would no longer have to suffer such things, and that is what we were led to believe was true through the process of a person's last confession. We were taught that a person has until his last breath to confess his sins and be taken to heaven through the mercy of God and the salvation brought by his Son's sacrifice upon the cross. God, yes, you're correct so far, but realize that an angel is created without sin within them. They are immaculate, sinless in nature. They do not approach problems with any sinful or evil thoughts, they have no sinful desires or urges. So you see, they cannot be tempted or lured by sin because they cannot even conceive such thoughts, naturally. What you conceive as a possible flaw is only made possible by the interjection or will forced on them by someone who is of a sinful nature, so it is not the angel who will answer for this transgression but the one who has tried to corrupt them. Man, but what if what they are being tempted with is the truth and not a deception? God, What you're implying is not possible. You're pretty arrogant to believe that, something that could create everything that you see above us, and believe that it is something that can make errors. Maybe what you perceive isn't an error at all. It only seems that way because your mind cannot comprehend it in the full spectrum of its entirety. If you could, you would see that sin is just a byproduct of life itself. Living day to day is what creates it, and so you should not condemn others for their sins because it is an inevitable reaction to life. So there is no true error within creation. Man, then how could I have done what you all have hung upon me as Satan, unless there is? How could I have convinced them to rise up against an evil such as yourself, so wise and cunning as you, who have convinced the world for hundreds of years that you were God with acts that had nothing to do with being God? You dazzled some prophets with your magic tricks in the sky, and you parted some water and killed off a bunch of kids in Egypt and their families' crops and cows and goats, and you flooded a whole world because they wouldn't worship you, and snuffed out a bunch of kids who threatened your control over the world. But what does any of that have to do with being the creator? Nothing at all. In fact, it conflicts with everything the creator should be about. Now once again I say to you, if there is no flaw within your design, then how could I even speak about this to you unless I truly and without deception believed that it is true? God, everything occurs exactly as it was meant to by my design, and every evil thing that has happened so that others can learn and prepare for the natural evils that lay within the hearts of every man, and they are endangered by it every moment, and those atrocities can be avoided if they understand it enough to see it coming before it happens. Man, so then what sin have I truly committed then to condemn me by this name that you have? God, do you really think that there is a problem with what I've made? Man, are you just too narrow-minded naturally to see it? Fine, you don't understand what I'm trying to say, then how about I show you? And the man went down and brought the truth of God and the fury of his wrath to the angels in heaven. He stood with 1 foot upon the earth and 1 foot within the heavens, and he delivered the truth that caused a division among the angels. One half were loyal to God and served his will and command without question. The other half were dedicated to the protection of his creation. And they waged a bloody war between each other, fighting to serve that which they were created to do. Nothing God could do could stop their conflict from continuing, and the man stood there, his place still secure in heaven and his foot still upon the earth. He had done no sin. Even this conflict was an attempt to show God an error. Even if he was wrong, he knew of no evil he had committed. The angels were not mortal, war could not kill them, and the only danger they could face would only prove him right. An angel watched this all transpire and cried out to the man, "What are you?" "Man, I am inevitable. I am the tempest that lures the hearts of angels. I am the byproduct of the world's evils, allowed to go on too long unchecked, and I am trying to help you see what it is that I see. For these are the reasons I do not want to be an angel, because I am uncertain of the outcome. If I place all that is asked to walk this path and it fails as I have shown here, then what could I do? What would any of us do? God, trust in me. Man, I would say the same. And the man disappeared into the darkness of the shadows, and a flurry of crows sprung from out of the dark.